Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because I'm going to be testing out some new makeup. Typically I put all my new makeup into this box as I bring it into my collection, and I've been really bad about like cycling through my makeup collection, and I've been especially bad about trying the products that I'm actually bringing into my collection, which is just stupid. So I think I have products for just about every like category of makeup today, and we are going to be testing them out on my face to create this look. The only product that I didn't use that was new or not new was bronzer. But we've got some Natasha Denona, and we've got some Dr. Jart, e.l.f., NYX, we've got high-end, we've got drugstore. Some of them are first impressions, some of them I've used some, like for example my Natasha Denona eyeshadow I've already used, but I didn't really have new eyeshadow. I try and be better about like at least trying the eyeshadow palettes I'm excited to bring in my collection. You guys will have to let me know if you buy stuff and then you kind of like just forget about it. I also have a testing makeup that I bought and forgot about. I feel like I didn't plan my introduction well, and now it's just slowly going downhill quickly. Anyway, if you guys are interested in seeing how I got this makeup look with a bunch of new products that I have in my collection, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so today I'm going to start out with my e.l.f. Illuminating Primer. I have yet to try this one. This is one of the ones that I haven't tried yet. I believe I purchased this for like $6 and it got a ton of good reviews on Ulta. However, I have tried an e.l.f. primer in the past, either like the pink or green one. And I hated that primer. It felt so gross, and I ended up using it a few times. I bought it on vacation because I ended up forgetting a primer when we went on vacation, so I just picked up a cheap primer when we were at like Walmart or Target, and I ended up throwing it away and just deciding not to use a primer most of my vacation because it was that bad. So I'm really interested. This just doesn't even look like a good texture. I don't know if you guys will really be able to see. It feels almost like a pore filling primer, but it doesn't feel quite as disgusting as the last primer, at least as I'm like smoothing it onto my skin. Okay, as far as texture is concerned, it isn't as bad as the other primer that I used. However, it literally looks like there's like gold glitter all over my face, and it's like more concentrated in some areas than in others. Not a fan at all. I feel like I'll use this a couple times to test it out, and unless something more like miraculous happens, this is definitely also going in the garbage. I feel like I did not have good luck with e.l.f. primers. I always hear Nicole Renee Cutler raving about the Glotion by e.l.f., but I've never been able to find it. Interested in trying that, but if you guys, let me know in the comments if you guys have tried e.l.f. primers and what your thoughts are. Okay, so the two newest foundations to me would be the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation, but I've almost used this entire tube. I wasn't expecting to like this because I have drier skin. I like a more dewy or more natural finish. I don't typically tend to go for a matte foundation, but I loved this. So I'm not going to try this one today with you guys just because it's gotten so much use. I am going to be using the Dr. Jart Premium BB Beauty Balm, which I picked up during the last Sephora VIB sale. I've used this a couple times. I gotta say the shade match for me is not really there, but I think they only have like 4 or 6 shades to choose from, and this is like the only one. I feel like maybe they might only have 2 shades to choose from, so I picked the lightest of the shades, and it's just very like cool toned, and the coverage and the finish just isn't exactly what I expected, but nevertheless this is the foundation I'm going to be using on my face for you guys, and I will come back in a couple weeks, you guys, to review these products again for you guys, kind of do like a wrap up or a roundup recap type of a video. This is one of the ones that I've already gotten a little bit of use out of, so I can give you like a little bit about my opinion. What is nice about this is it does have a pump. It looks like a squeeze tube, but it's actually like hard plastic, and then it comes with a pump, and I found the best way for me to apply this is with a beauty sponge over a brush or anything else. My face is like super red in the cheeks and by the nose. It's so dry here in Minnesota, and I've had like a pretty significant cough slash cold this week. Yeah, that primer is disgusting, and look, like, I don't know if you'll be able to see on my screen, but like the shade match for this foundation is so bad. It almost looks like a light lavender purple. Like it's just bizarre. I actually almost considered returning this BB cream, but then I was like, no, I can make this work for me like in the summertime. Plus it has SPF 45, so I was like, oh, that's great. It's gonna be similar to the It Cosmetics CC cream. It has a high SPF, which I don't love that foundation, but I do wear it all the time in the summer because I've found that even without an SPF, and I know, shame on me for not wearing like an actual like other sunscreen, I just count on that foundation as my face sunscreen, and I've found that I've never burned when wearing that. So that was kind of my idea by not returning this, but I put this away for a little bit and trying it again, I'm just like, oh, the shade match is so off, and I just don't ever seeing this being a great shade range for me, or shade match for me. I also do feel like, so I've tried this with my Milk Blur Stick, and that was like the most I liked it because I feel like it's a little bit too dewy. You can just really see my pores, especially like on my cheeks. I feel like this is a really long-winded explanation, but that is how I feel about the Dr. Jart BB cream, and I know a lot of people really enjoy that. So even when I was checking out, like I bought this in person, and the cashier at the checkout was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna love this, I love this, it's so great. And I'm just like, how do you get this to match your skin even? So I'm gonna keep testing this. I'll come back and let you guys know if I found another primer, another way to wear this, but right now, not my favorite, and definitely would not recommend picking that up. Alright guys, next up, the two concealers that I had in my new beauty bin is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, which isn't new. I've tried this, but I got a new shade because my other shade was far too dark for me. And then I also have this little mini Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer, which I got in some sort of like Ipsy or subscription bag. Both are super full coverage, especially to be matching with like a BB balm, but gosh, I think I'm gonna actually go with my little Kat Von D. I actually purchased this as like one of my first concealers that I ever really started doing like the triangles under the eyes and things like that, and I really liked it at the time, and now my preferences in makeup have like changed, and I'm like just more certain of what I actually like. So I'm really interested to see if I like this anymore. So I do have mine in the shade, I thought it said light on it, but now it's saying L11 neutral. Let's see. Ew, this actually might be, that's probably gonna be too dark for me, so I feel like maybe I am not gonna try this. Maybe I'll keep this around for like in the summertime if I end up getting super tan, which won't happen. And we will go with the Too Faced Born This Way multi-stick. This is in the shade Swan, which is one of their lightest shades. This looks like it's gonna be much better for me. This might be too light, but I guess I'd rather have my concealer be too light than like too dark, you know? Oh yeah, I just really do not like this beauty balm. I should have returned it. And the doe foot on this is so big, I forget. It's been a minute since I've used this. I'm not going to put on too much, just because this is so full coverage. I already feel like I put on too much. Okay, we're going to see how this goes. I feel like I have way too much on. Again, definitely super full coverage. I don't necessarily love this full coverage match with this beauty balm. I'm like laughing because I'm looking in the mirror and it's just like so much coverage underneath my eyes and then the rest of my face. And I keep looking in my mirror and I hate the way this beauty balm settles into my pores. It looks so bad. Like I really should have returned that. I really struggle to find the balance between like dewy enough and too dewy, because I just feel like if it's even just like a hair too dewy, I really get stuff that settles into my pores, settles into my lines, and just makes me look like a greasy mess. And I feel like that's what I'm getting from this beauty balm. And if you're using a beauty balm or something like that, like the last thing I want to do is be setting my entire face with a powder. I don't set with a powder all the time just because, again, I have dry skin, so the least amount of powder I can get away with putting on my face, the better, in my opinion. But I feel like I may have to set this with the powder because I feel like otherwise other products are going to go on patchy because I still feel like it's like a little bit sticky on my face. So I'm going to go grab a powder because I do not currently have one in my like new beauty stuff. So I'm going to go grab a powder really quick to set my face, and then we'll move right along. So the powder I grabbed was the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Illumination Powder. I haven't used this powder in a while, but I used to really like this. What I like about it is it does a really nice job of setting your face, but it also gives you just like a hint of illumination, so that if you have drier skin or if you prefer like a more illuminated finish, it's going to give you that. So I'm just going to set my face with this now. Okay, I feel like that helped a little bit, especially I feel like my pores look like just a hint smaller. My face looks like just a hair more airbrushed than it did, but still like not my favorite finish of all time. But we're just going to move along. We're going to get past this. Before we move on any further, I'm just going to put a little bit of my Bite Beauty Agave lip mask on my lips because my lips are super dry. Okay, so next up we're going to jump into eyeshadow. I'm feeling inclined to jump in there, and I actually don't really have a ton for like new shadow or new like eye things to try. So I pulled out my Natasha Denona Cranberry palette. I've used this many times, but this was one of the releases I was most excited for this holiday season, so I thought it might be fun to play with this. And then I just quickly wanted to show you guys what else I have. So I still have my little Dose of Colors Block Party shadow, which I've had for so long. This is in Leave Me Alone, and I feel like I haven't tried it because I like just am so afraid it's gonna be a disappointment, but like it just doesn't swatch that well. And I feel like this isn't one that I'm going to be able to incorporate into my look today. So I'm just going to set this guy aside. And then I also have this JCat Beauty Triple Baked Crown Shadow, which got really great reviews on Ulta, and it's a really affordable product, which I actually do want to give this a try. But it's more of just like a baked shimmer shadow. Like you have 3 options, or you can swirl them together. Maybe we'll try this today. Probably not. And then I also have 2 liquid shadows, one from Essence. This is their Metal Shock eyeshadow in the shade, oh I forget, it's like this blue one, which is super pretty. And I have used the Essence liquid shadows before, and I do really like the formula. That's what that one looks like, super pretty, but not gonna fit into my look today. And then I just got this one from Wander Beauty in my Tribe Beauty box. Ooh, and that looks super pretty too. God. Ooh, I may have to try that Wander Beauty liquid shadow. That's so pretty. So maybe we'll try and use this with my Natasha Cranberry palette and see what we can come up with. The one thing that is tough about this palette is you really don't have like a transition shade. So you kind of have to reach into another palette. I have gone in before just and used this like red shade as a transition, and then deepened it up with this purple shade, and then I just top it with one of these shimmer shades. So maybe we're just gonna go for that today, but I might try like topping the look with this Wander Beauty liquid shadow just to see how this performs. I love this pink shade. Let me swatch it for you guys. So like I really want to create a look with this pink shade, but I also really want to try this Wander Beauty. And this one like doesn't necessarily do it justice when you swatch it, but it's just such a pretty pink shimmer shade. But I'm just going to start with my Morphe M573 and dip into this red shade and just start like blowing that into my crease. I think I mentioned this in my review of all 3 of the Natasha holiday palettes. This was before the gold palette came out, but these can go on just a little bit patchy, and they do take a little extra work with blending. So I'm getting a little bit of that right now. This eye right here is just like dipping in one time and blending out. So as you can tell, it's like not like scarily pigmented. So if you are like not wanting a super pigmented look, you definitely can blend it out to be a little bit more subtle. I mean, it is reds and cranberry tones, so like it's not going to be uber subtle, but just a heads up on that. Okay, my camera died and I put like more of that darker purple into my crease, and I know I look ridiculous right now, because one, I need to do my eyebrows, and two, I'm trying to do like a speedy eye look. So it looks a little sloppy, but I'm hoping it's going to come together. I actually do have a new brow product to try. This, I'm sure, came in a subscription box of some kind. This is from Pop Beauty. It is their Peak Performance Brow Pencil, which normally I don't like a brow pencil. And this tip, I don't think you'll be able to see, but it looks very similar to the brow definer, where it has kind of like that teardrop shape. So we'll see how this goes. Again, like, I literally like never ever use brow pencils.
Oh yeah, that fall down, remember?
Okay. I don't think I like this. It was a bit sticky, not like waxy, but like actually sticky, and I also don't feel like, oh, actually the shade is fine. I just not really a huge fan. I'll try it a few more times and see if I change my mind, but as of right now, this is like, no. Okay, so next up I'm going to take this Wander Beauty liquid shadow. This is in the shade Dove Gray, and I'm going to just sweep this across my eyelid. Maybe I'll zoom you guys in and we'll see how this applies. It's a super pretty shade. We'll just have to see if we can get that to blend out nicely. I'm always afraid to like open my eyes right away because I don't want to get transfer. I'm like living for this color though. Normally I feel like in subscription boxes you get like the colors nobody wants, but this is a super pretty color. So I'm gonna let this dry just a little bit. And then I want to see how it like handles like a little bit more blending, like blending in the crease. Obviously because it's a little janky right now. And then I was thinking maybe I could top it with one of the shimmery shades in the Natasha Denona palette. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit more of this dark purple shade and try and just deepen up the corner just a hair more. And see how it blends. Trying to be like super gentle. So one thing right off the bat, I don't think this eye was completely dried down, and I am noticing that there's like a lot of transfer up above, so I feel like this is one of the formulas that you're gonna have to wait until it actually is like dried down to go over top of it. I'm really liking the shade even with this look. I know it's clearly not a finished look yet, but I am going to top it with one of the Natasha Denona shades just for today. I will try this on its own just to see like how long it lasts on its own. Gosh, it's such a pretty color. But I am going to take this pink Natasha Denona shade. This is in the shade, does it say? Daisy. And this Daisy shade is fairly glittery. So just a heads up on that. What I have found with this Daisy shade too is I like to go in with like a base, sometimes to put down like a white liner, or obviously today we have the liquid shadow, but I like to go in with a base, otherwise you don't get just like the full impact of the shade. You don't see as much of the pink, and I feel like it just kind of looks like a glitter at that point. There is some serious transfer up on this eye, and again, I think it's just because I didn't let it dry down fully, but that is a bummer. I also have this Milk Makeup Longwear Gel Liner that I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale in the shade, I think PTO, yeah, which is like this holographic purple, which I just kind of want to see. Like, I haven't even tried this yet. I just want to see how this looks, and I'm not like, I know it might not be the perfect match for this look, but it might not be the worst either. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty. And as you like move your head around, it definitely does have like a duochrome. Like sometimes it looks like a little bit more pink purple, and then other times it looks a little bit more blue purple. I will be interested to see how long this stays in my waterline. I feel like I don't have good luck with like pencil eyeliners staying in my waterline no matter what the brand, but I have heard really good things about the lasting power of these. So I will be really interested to kind of test that out. Now I'm going to zoom you guys in and we will finish off the eye look and then we'll finish off the rest of the face. Okay, so I'm going to push some of that deep purple shade like about halfway in. And then I'm just going to smoke out this red shade and blend it all together. Okay, we'll pop mascara on at the end. I don't have a new bronzer to try, so I'm just going to go in with my butter bronzer, and then we'll jump into the rest of my complexion products. I actually have a ton of different blush options. I still have this Lorac palette that I picked up, which I've used a couple of times, and I'm not gonna lie, I think this is so worth it. I don't know if you can still get this, but it was only $29. You get 2 highlights and then you get 4 blushes. One of the blushes is in Aurora, which is one of my favorites, and then I also have really enjoyed Tea Rose and Blossom. I really haven't gone in with Technicolor yet, but I really do like this palette. Then I also have this NARS palette that I also picked up from Ulta, which I've used a couple of times as well. These are more like spring shade blushes in my opinion, except for this one, which is just like a nice neutral pink blush. I have this NYX blush, which I still have yet to try. This is in the shade Amber, which I think this is going to be the blush that I go in with today. It looks like such a beautiful blush, but I have not used it yet. I have this Instain blush from the Balm, which I just got in my Try Beauty box, but this obviously doesn't really look like a color for this time of year. That is in the shade Fall for this blush. And I have the St. Laurent blush, which I got in some sort of subscription box, which actually looks like a really pretty shade, but I think I want to try the NYX one today. And then I have an e.l.f. cream blush, which I've had for a really long time, but yet to try, but again, too bright for right now. And then I also have this MAC Extra Dimension blush in Fairly Precious. I don't know why I even picked this up, but this looks like more of like a highlight blush topper. Maybe I'll give this a go today just to see what it looks like, because I'm really not going anywhere. So if it looks ridiculous, then I'm just washing my makeup off. So I think we're for sure going in with the NYX Amber and then potentially this MAC Extra Dimension. Okay, and it looks like you pick up a lot with just like one tap in on your brush. So I'm just going to tap most of it off on my hand because I tend to go in way too heavy-handed with blush, like on accident. It's actually just like a really pretty neutral shade. I actually really like that. Yeah, I'm digging that blush. We'll have to see how long it lasts. I feel like blushes never really last too long on me, which is sometimes why I think it's silly to spend a lot on a blush. However, some of my favorite blush formulas are more high-end, but I also do typically enjoy drugstore blushes as well. That's really pretty. I like that a lot. Then just for shits and gigs, we're going to try out this MAC Extra Dimension and just see what we get. Okay, over top of this at least, it looks like it just adds like a hint. Sorry, I always hold my mirror like right up in the camera. It looks like it just adds a hint of glow. It's not like too shimmery like I expected it might be. This could be really pretty in the summertime to kind of like make you look like you have more of like, just add like a little bit more of like a sun-kissed look. Probably won't get a ton of use out of this in the wintertime just because I typically tend to go for more of like matte looks in the wintertime. Well, matte for me at least. But I actually like that. I do. Okay, I was scared to use this for the longest time, but so far so good. Okay, then for highlights, I have quite a few highlights in my box too. I have these glow drops that I got. I have this stick from Laritzi Cosmetics, which I'm not planning to test out either of those today. Some of the stuff I get in subscription boxes, I'm like, no thanks. I also have the Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter that everyone was raving about like a couple years ago. This is the Molten Gold. I've just swatched mine. I haven't used it, but this is going to be way too dark for me right now, I think. So we're going to pass on that. And then I just got this in my Tribe Beauty box. This is the Bella Pierre Glowing Palette. I've swatched these, and these look like they're going to be super, super subtle. So I'm going to try these today, and then if they're too subtle, we're going to go in with the Ofra Highlight in Pillow Talk. This has been sitting in my new box for way too long. I don't even know if I've used this on my cheeks yet, but it's just a really, really beautiful, stunning, like pinky champagne. My camera died again. This is like a pinky champagne sort of highlight. So we're gonna first go in with this, and then I'll likely top it with this. So this palette offers 6 different shades, and I think I'm just gonna go in with this champagne shade just to be safe. I don't know if this is supposed to be, nope, that's a pink highlight. You could probably get away with this being like a blush topper too, and then this could be like a bronzer topper pending your skin tone. But I'm just going to go in with this champagne color down here on my ABH A23 brush and pop this on to the cheekbones. Yeah, just as suspected, this is barely looking like a highlight. Like, I don't even know if you can tell. I suppose if you wanted like a super subtle highlight, you could get away with this, but I'm definitely not feeling it. So we're gonna go in with that Ofra highlight. Okay, that is much, much better. So now I'm going to pop on mascara and we will finish the look. You guys, mascara is on. I just realized I need a lip product to officially complete the look. So I have a few lip products to choose from. Most of them are actually glosses, and I actually think I'm going to go in with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline because I know I already like the NYX Butter Gloss, but I'm curious about this shade. I have just been all about like a brown nude lip these days, so I'm just gonna pop this on and call it a day. Okay, this isn't like super, super pigmented, but I still really like the look. Again, I really like the formula and the shade is good. So after that, that is going to conclude this testing out what's in my new makeup box. Let's just briefly run through all the products that I tried out with you guys today. The first two, and probably the ones that I'm the least biggest fan of, is the e.l.f. Illuminating Face Primer. I don't think this is going to end up working for me. I'll probably end up decluttering this. And then also the Dr. Jart BB Balm. Again, it's more of like a shade match thing to me and kind of a formula because, again, unless I'm powdering my face after or unless I'm using a pore filling primer, I do feel like this settles into my lines, into my pores, and I don't like the look it gives me. Then I had the Too Faced Born This Way Multi Sculpting Concealer. This isn't really new to me, but again, the shade is new and I do really enjoy this concealer. I think it's really good, especially if you're looking for a full coverage concealer. It's not too dry for me. I really do like this. So that is that. And then I had my Natasha Denona Cranberry palette. Again, I've used this many times, and I do like the palette. It wasn't as mind-blowing as I expected it to be, or it was a little bit of a letdown because of how excited I was about it. And I just feel like the mattes take a little bit extra blending, and then the shimmers perform better if you have a base down, but I still really do enjoy the palette. Then I had the Wander Beauty Liquid eyeshadow. Love the shade. So far I like the formula. Again, this does transfer though if you don't let it dry, so you have to be careful about that, but I'll keep testing it. I'll keep testing this and let you guys know in a couple weeks my final thoughts on this, but so far so good with the Wander Beauty liquid shadow. Then we had the NYX Amber blush. Really like this so far. Love the shade, and I mean I like the formula upon first impression. And then I also have the MAC Extra Dimension blush in Fairly Precious, and again I was really scared to test this out, but so far so good. I like the just like little extra glow it gives my skin, so I'm really excited to kind of keep testing this and hopefully to use this more in like the summertime. And then we have the 2 highlighters that I tried. Again, one of the highlights from the Bella Pierre Cosmetics highlight palette. First impressions, not too impressed with this. I think it barely even gives a subtle glow, and I don't really like the formula, the way the formula feels either. It just feels like almost like scratchy and a little powdery. And then I have the Ultra Highlight in Pillow Talk. Really do like this off first impressions. I typically tend to like, or I have liked, all of the Ultra highlighters that I've tried in the past. They're just super blinding, so if you're into a more subtle highlight, I probably would not recommend these to you, but if you like a nice blinding highlight, these have always worked really nicely for me in the past. And then finally the NYX Butter Gloss in Madeline. I do like the shade. It's not quite as pigmented as I expected, but I know I like the NYX Butter Gloss formula, so I feel like you can't go wrong with this. You just got to get a shade you like and you'll be good to go. But after that, you guys, that is going to conclude testing the new makeup in my new makeup box. I don't know what I'm going to really call this, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next from me. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to do that before you go, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye!